All right, we'll get started here momentarily. Going to share this over to the main weather page. If you don't mind, as always, we'd ask that you ask so kindly and humbly that you would share this. The idea being we want to reach as many folks as possible so that we can keep them ahead of what's happening tonight. And overall, the news is not bad. It could be a lot worse, that's for sure. We do have severe thunderstorms affecting parts of the area. It's raining almost on all of us right now. There are a few notable exceptions. There are a lot of trends we like. There are one or two trends we don't like. And we are going to jump into that with both feet here momentarily. First thing I'll start you off with, here's radar. Check it out. We'll dive in here and get you into all of this. So our situation is this right now. So the back edge of the strong storm threat is right here. You live left of that line over here, Demopolis, Sweetwater, Grove Hill, Jackson, Mobile. Threat of severe weather has ended in that part of the state. You live over here on the east or right side of this line. We still have some things to watch. Right now in Montgomery, it's pouring rain. That's actually not a bad thing. That's going to help keep the air relatively cool and stable. So what's happening, there's a warm front, something like this. North of that, as the storms are crossing it, they rotate. But then once they go north of it, the air up here is relatively cool and stable. That's a good thing. That reduces, doesn't eliminate, but it reduces the risk of severe weather in this part of the state. South of that line, still some issues. So it's warmer down here. So storms still ongoing and a risk of severe weather ongoing south of that warm front. So the trends, as I said, overall are pretty good. Right now, we don't have any active tornado warnings. We remain in a tornado watch over roughly the southern third of the state. We're watching a few storms that have shown some transient, sort of brief rotation. There's one right there, by the way, southern Lowndes County. It's rotating, yes, but remember, lots of storms rotate. We've talked about that before, that it's not unusual for storms to rotate. That's pretty common. So this one is no exception with what we're seeing outside right now. There is some rotation in it, but not enough to prompt a tornado warning. Enough for us to watch and pay attention, not enough to prompt a tornado warning. So those are the trends we like. The warm front has not made it very far north. For Montgomery and points north, this is a very low-end risk situation. It's not no risk, but it's on the manageable side. South of Montgomery, even there, frankly, this thing's behaving pretty well so far. But there's one thing we've got to keep our eye on, and Nick and I were talking about this moments ago. There's this big, mean, ugly line of storms down here in the Florida Panhandle. So I'll show it to you. Here it is. See this right down here? All of these cells, some of them onshore, many of them not. Big, mean cluster of thunderstorms. That's going to ride northeast pretty quick as we go through the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So I think there's still a window in here where we're going to have to really pay attention from about up to Phoenix City and point south. So this part of Alabama right down here is one that really has my attention right now. And Nick's too, because it hasn't rained as much down there. It's warmer down there as well. Check this out. I can actually show you the latest temperature analysis across the state, and not bad, huh? So when you see this, just so you know, see all that orange? Monroeville's at 70, Dothan's at 68. That's an environment that can produce big, bad, ugly tornadoes and storms. Montgomery has 63 degrees. And I'll show you a temperature roundup from around the rest of the state. This is a pretty good website here, the National Weather Service in Birmingham, our pals. Alexander City, 62. Auburn, not reporting. Eufaula is only at 66. Montgomery's at 65 with heavy rain. Prattville has 63 and heavy rain. Selma, 68, moderate rain. Troy's up to 70. Uh-oh. See what I mean? That warm air nudging its way into those southeastern counties. So I think there's still a window here in that southeastern corridor where we're going to have to be very careful over the next few hours. Going to have to stay very weather aware as these ugly storms rotate in off the Florida Panhandle and up into portions of southeast and south central Alabama. So that's where we are right now. Speaking of I'm joined now by the man, the myth, the
Hello.
legend. First, I'm going to put my.
I feel like we are matching. By
We
the way,
really
today.
got to coordinate this tie thing better.
It's very close. I think I have a little
Red, you've
bit
got a little
of blue
pattern to
in it,
yours.
Yeah.
I went kind of with the herringbone approach, I guess. Is that herringbone or what is that?
It just looks
Some
like a
sort of
fabric weave
geometric
or something.
pattern.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not really a tie connoisseur, as they would have it. So, Nick, what do you think? What's going to happen?
Well, you pretty much summed it up. North of Montgomery, stable air, just rain. South of the area, a little bit more unstable. A lot of warm air still in place as that line moves through the region, and could have a couple more problem areas. You know, we saw that earlier this afternoon with those several tornado warnings that we had, and as it marches toward the Wiregrass mainly, a little bit of untouched atmosphere down there, and those storms could just blow up, I guess you could say. Bless you. Everyone in the comments will say bless you now. Bless
Aren't you glad I got off camera before I did that?
Yeah.
If I hadn't gotten off camera, there would have been some screen grab of me with this like contorted sneeze face.
Yeah.
My face is bad enough as is. I don't need a screen grab like that.
No.
I think you're exactly right. Not about the sneeze, but about the scenario here.
Yeah.
And so far, I would say this is playing out with what happened in Mississippi earlier today and what happened in Louisiana. Alabama has really done okay.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, because earlier this
broken well
afternoon,
for us.
if you were watching us earlier, Amanda Curran was on during the 11, 12. There was just up
Tornado,
to almost
tornado,
like 15
tornado,
tornado
tornado.
warnings at one time over there
Yeah.
in Louisiana and Mississippi. And that was really kind of the red light that we were watching, that alert we were watching over there to see how it would play out here in Alabama. We had a couple of tornado warnings so far, but so far, so good. Knock on wood, as the saying goes, because we don't want it to get any worse than what it is now. But as you can see, that area, that triangle you kind of put from Columbus down south toward Dothan over toward Opp, really the primed area they're watching. Now, could we see one outside of that area? Yes,
Sure,
there's
yeah.
always a possibility, so don't let your guard down. If you're still under the tornado watch, stay alert. I did notice, too, National Weather Service in Birmingham did drop a few more counties from that watch when they reissued it at the top of the hour, and they dropped Dallas and Perry. So as the line marches
Woo,
through,
baby!
yeah, that is, you can sleep now soundly as it moves through your area. So as this line marches through, the National Weather Service is doing a good job of letting that watch expire early. So definitely a good sign.
And essentially, if you live in Alabama, anywhere left or above that line, you're done. There's no more severe weather. So Linden, Demopolis, Selma, Plantersville, Marion, Clanton, Jemison, Rockford, Alexander City, I'd put in that group. The air is too cool. The air is too stable. Everything, it's going to rain. There's going to be some thunder and lightning, but from a tornado production perspective, this really doesn't do a lot.
Yeah.
Now, if you live right or below that line, I think you've still got a couple of hours here. For Montgomery, the way this thing is starting to accelerate, I think by 10:30, this is over. And when I say Montgomery, I mean Montgomery, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, Pike Road, Hayneville, Titus, Weoka, Marbury, Greenville. Give it another 2 hours and you're done.
The warm air really didn't expand that far north.
It didn't.
That was kind of the limiting factor with those. So you have to have a lot of dynamics in place to fuel these storms. And where the warmer air is to the south, Josh, you showed the map where it was still in the 70s. That's the primed area. There you go for these storms. So that's the area we're watching closely. South Alabama still, Monroeville over toward Dothan, kind of approaching Columbus, even though Columbus is pretty cool right now. So that's a good trending sign there.
What timeline for Andalusia? Well, it's essentially for you, I think probably the next hour and a half. I think by 9:30 to 10 p.m., Andalusia is probably done with this.
Yeah.
There's one storm west of Andalusia. See it right out here? This one we've got to watch. It's going to go probably northeast of you, but it's a close enough call to where I think you need to stay kind of plugged in with this. And if we're going to talk about Andalusia, I should probably switch to the mobile radar.
Yeah.
So these storms, this was the one I circled, but there's more of them back down here. these have to come through Andalusia before you're done. Now, that's going to happen in the next hour to hour and a half.
Right.
So,
And you notice there's like breaks in the line.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's the concerning part of it. If it was one congealed line, that'd be a little bit better. But since there's some breaks in between the heaviest storm cells, that is the concerning part, because just enough inflow into the storm could really ramp it up.
ramp that thing up. All right, so a lot of folks asking about their communities, their towns, their cities. I'll do my best to answer these. If you've been listening to the video, we've probably already done it, but what time do you see the storms arriving to the Wiregrass area? Within the next hour, really in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They're pressing in on the western side of the Wiregrass right now. See them out here? And then back down into Florida, there's actually quite a bit more. All of this is going to move up through the Wiregrass over the next 2 to 3 hours. So for the Wiregrass, this probably isn't, it will begin momentarily in the western parts of the Wiregrass, western Geneva, western Coffee, and then overspread the rest of the Wiregrass through 9 and 10 o'clock. And it's probably not till midnight that we can clear this out of the southeastern corner of the state. Now we can look forward to a white Christmas. It's a comment from Will Jones. That is not a forecast, by the way. I was just reading his comment.
That's been the trend of everyone asking.
Yeah, so one knucklehead posts the 360-hour GFS, and this is what you get.
Yeah.
Enough about that, though. Troy, warm now, showers and storms now, severe weather threat right now. That severe weather threat will last in Troy through probably about 11 or 11:30. What timeline for Andalusia? Now for the next hour and a half. What about the Jack area in Coffee County? Same as Troy.
Just so you know, the National Weather Service of Birmingham is watching that broad area of rotation in southern Lowndes County that you mentioned
That we circled?
earlier. So just little housekeeping.
Little inside baseball,
Yeah,
I like
we're,
it.
We're keeping a close eye. Of course, the National Weather Service, they issue the warnings, and we relay them back to you on WSFA and the app and everywhere else.
Everywhere
Yeah,
else.
we're pretty much everywhere you are. So just FYI that we're watching it.
We are. Jack area, Coffee County, showers and storms now. Severe weather threat there will linger through midnight. Gosh, they're coming in so fast I literally can't keep up. What about Auburn? What about Grady? What about Conecuh County? What about Slap Out? What about Tallahassee? Enterprise time frame. What about Elmore County? Auburn, how's it looking for Auburn? What about Brundage? What about Phoenix City? What about Troy? What about Tallapoosa County? What about Dadeville? What about Norville? What about Geneva? What about Opelika? What about
And just so if you're aware, you go to WSFA.com, go to our weather story, and there's a county by county breakdown for you.
Like every county.
Like every county that we cover here. And so if you know your county you live in, you can find that, and it'll tell you where we are and where we're going with this storm threat. It's a great tool to have.
Great tool to have. And I will just show you that, actually.
okay.
That's what we'll do.
Perfect.
So I'm going to show you this graphic, and you're going to love it. And this will answer every question. So if your fingers are on the keys right now, getting ready to pop off a question that says, what about, and then a geographical place after that. So what about Slap Out? What about Honoraville, etc.? Rest your fingers. Boy, have I got a deal for you. For the low, low price of $3.99, we're going to answer your question.
And free is my favorite word.
Free is a fantastic word. Here it is, with no further ado. And I'm going to take off the Vance Law Firm and Bryan Jewelry logos momentarily, because our good friends at Bryan Jewelry and Vance Law Firm would love for you to have access to all this information. That's why they partnered with us on these, to make sure you do. Okay, so if you know which county you live in, find it. They're alphabetized here, Autauga to Wilcox. It's not A to Z, but it's as close as we can go. And there's the kind of the timeline. You'll notice for Wilcox County, this is going to be over soon. We projected the end of it at 9 p.m. And based on radar data, I think that's going to be an outstanding forecast. Dallas County, it's over. That's tornado watch has been allowed to expire, or canceled early, actually, for there. So Autauga County, I've got 10 p.m. on here. It's probably more like 9:15, 9:30. But for a forecast we made yesterday, I'd say that's pretty good. Crenshaw County, now through 10 p.m. Macon County, now through 11 p.m. Notice the southeastern counties, it's a little later. Pike goes until midnight. Russell goes until 2 in the morning. I've got midnight at Tallapoosa County, but frankly, you could probably stick a fork in it. I think it stays too cool and too stable in Tallapoosa County. You're not under a tornado watch. So could you have some fluke event? Sure, but the overall threat level in Tallapoosa County is as close as you can get to zero without actually getting there. So we'll call it 1% milk. That is skim milk.
It's still raining.
It's still raining. It's still
impactful,
nasty. Yeah,
gross
it's not
outside, but the better dynamics for tornadoes to our south.
That's right. I need clarification on if we need to leave our house, when is it going to hit? That's in Georgiana. You've got a line of storms west of you. That'll come through Butler County now through the next, we said 9 o'clock. We'll probably have to extend that out to maybe 9:30. So Butler County, we'll say now through 9:30, 9:45 at the latest. After that, you're in the clear. Judy Bailey. Hey, Josh, I'm a cousin in Jacksonville. We have never even met. Your face looks familiar. I think we have. Probably sad to say, probably at a funeral or something.
Isn't that how it goes?
That's how it goes, man.
That's how I meet all my cousins down in Covington
Go to a
County
funeral,
and
man.
Montgomery, I feel you.
It's getting old stuff. It's pretty spooky.
Yeah.
Let's see. What about get some sleep? Chris, my man, if I could fist bump you right now, I would do it. Let's see. What about Panama City Beach? It's actually really stormy there.
Yeah,
They're not anywhere close to being done with this. The threat will linger in Panama City Beach, I'd say, about all night.
yeah.
It'll probably be sun up tomorrow before you're done.
A lot of moist air down there, and storms rolling in off the Gulf of Mexico, hitting the land. Could be a serious situation, so it's going to be a while for you guys down there.
Joseph says, I can't wait till midnight. What about Camden? What about Montgomery? What about Conecuh County? All right, you see the graphic on the screen here?
Alphabetical by
Camden, Wilcox County, now through 9 p.m. I'll stand by that. I think that'll be a pretty good forecast. I think by about 9 o'clock, the threat will have ended. If you live in Camden itself, frankly, the threat's already over. A little threat in the eastern part of the county for the next 20 or 30 minutes. That's about it. What about Montgomery? It's right there on the map. Look for the M's, now through 11 p.m. Threat level overall kind of in the low range. How should we word that? We shouldn't say low. We should get rid of the word low.
Yeah, low could mean a lot of things.
Limited?
Yeah.
It's a long
Possible.
shot. Yeah, it's still in the possible range. Slap out!
We love slap out.
Nikki, what's going on? What about slap out?
Elmore, E.
Elmore, E, now through 10 o'clock. I think that's going to be a good forecast, too. Temperature high in Troy, does that mean severe? It could, but here's the thing with Troy, and that's actually a fantastic question.
Yeah.
It's pouring rain in Troy right now, so that warm temperature is probably going to go down the next time we get an observation there, one. Two, the back edge of this is here. So Troy's got about, it'll get there in about 90 minutes, and then it'll be gone by midnight. So that warm air has to keep surging north to really get us a lot of heartache in Troy. And as the storms are moving in, see all this green out here between you and Troy and this line of storms? All this right in here? Man, that's a lot of rain. So that's going to help us out too. All that to say, there is still a threat in Troy. You need to stay weather aware. We can't give you an all clear at all. You need to stay on this, but so far everything's working out pretty well.
Hopefully it stays that way. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah. And we do not want you to get the wrong idea. Unless we've explicitly said the threat is over for you, it's not. So just because a threat is diminishing doesn't mean it's over. So it's important that you stay weather aware if you're still in the tornado watch, which is every county in our area minus Tallapoosa, Chambers, Perry, Marengo, Dallas, right?
Yes.
And they'll punt Wilcox soon.
Yeah, as that line moves through.
Looks like they said something in chat. Let me see.
Yes, you were correct.
Okay, all right. So
most of the western counties minus Wilcox is out of it.
that Lowndes County thing has kind of that look.
And when we say the look, there's been several storms that we've had the look earlier, and
Hadn't done a thing.
they didn't do a thing, but then they issued a tornado warning for them. So it's getting close to Hayneville.
So the issue is going to be when that crosses that front,
What will it
you're
do?
going to see a local enhancement of the wind shear.
Yeah.
So if you're going to spin one up out of this storm, it'll be probably within the next 20 minutes as it moves northeast towards Prattville and northwestern Montgomery County and through Lowndes County, kind of along and just a little west of Alabama 21. If it's going to spin a tornado, it'll happen in the next 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
So that's one we'll have to keep an eye on.
And they are watching it. The Birmingham National Weather Service says. They said that about 8:36. It's about 10 minutes ago.
I'm not reading that one.
I'm not reading it either, but
I'm
it's
not
funny.
reading that
If
one.
you find that one in the comment section, you know what we're laughing at.
Yeah, right. That's something. All right. Is this just thunderstorms, or is this something we need to take shelter for? No one needs to take shelter right now. You do need to be aware. You need multiple reliable ways of getting weather warnings, and you need to know where you would go if you're placed in a tornado warning. That's
Yeah.
it. You do that, everything's good.
Yeah.
Morgan says she's finna put on her moo-moo.
Cool.
There you go.
How's y'all mics doing?
How's our mics doing?
We are live on Facebook.
Pretty
just
good.
So you know,
yeah,
Zoe.
don't say anything you don't want your mother to hear.
That's our
Zoe,
one of-
you want to come talk?
You want to come this?
I just, want to do my job as a director.
It's one of our
TNP for this beautiful company.
Yes, one of our fantastic TMPs. You're doing
Hello.
the
That
night.
That stands for
right?
Technical
Yes.
Media Producer,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
So he punches a lot of buttons.
He makes everything happen.
Do y'all
that you
even
see on
punch
TV.
buttons anymore? Or is it all
I mean,
just on
it's
the
still a
computer?
little punching, but that computer is definitely taking over now.
See, I go back to the days of like the big Kahuna boards.
Oh, I miss
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Hit, I mean, that's
Then
those
I could
things,
I wouldn't even have to come out here and talk to you. I could just did it in
just
there.
right there.
True.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
but
Technology, man.
Progress.
We're getting somewhere.
Technology.
Those
yay.
big Kahuna boards, I feel like if you knew how to run one of those, you could probably fly 747
You
in a
can
pinch.
fly a whole plane after someone tries to take it over, and you can bring that thing right in on a smooth landing.
Riding on a smooth landing. Well, Zoe, thank you for
y'all
all
get
you
a
do.
chance,
Well,
check y'all mic batteries.
check the mic
We've been
batteries.
working all day to bring this coverage.
We'll
for
show
y'all.
them radar while we check our mics.
You know,
Mine's off.
Mine is
That's
the battery is dying.
yeah. Hey, look, see.
You should do this professionally, Zoe.
I think a battery checker would be good
I
on
have
my
a
resume.
1, so maybe I should change these before the 9.
Yeah, it can't hurt.
Here you
know
go.
what I'm saying? I'll get the battery and I'll bring you on.
Thank
both
you
of
so
them.
much.
Oh,
You were so
that's
appreciated.
the
You're welcome.
IFB. Let me try the other one.
Zoe, good people.
Hold on. You're looking at that. That was the IFB one. Sorry, I just did you all.
All right, we'll get back
Oh,
on
please.
back on the wagon here. Do a little more talking.
Thank you.
Josh, can you call CSX and tell them no trains during bad weather? I could tell them that, but I doubt very seriously they'll listen to me.
Time is money and money is time. They're going
That's
to roll
right.
down and get that money.
Brundage, same thing for Troy that we said earlier. Storms, you should be done by midnight. They'll arrive probably between 10 and 11, be gone by midnight. How's Pattsburg and Petrie looking? That's south of Montgomery. You're not done with this yet. You're not out of the woods. You will be by about 10:30 or 11 in Crenshaw County, most likely. Is it gone out of Conecuh County? No, not quite yet. Watch this. Here you can see this storm, and I'll pop over to the closer radar. Looks like about the same between Mobile and Eglin. So that's in Conecuh now. No sign of any rotation, but it's just a large thunderstorm. But look at this, Conecuh County. This is the back end of it. Once this comes through, which will happen in the next 45 minutes, you're done. You're done.
I'm noticing, though, and we've talked about these storms that's down in Florida, but look at that one that's near the radar site there. A little bit further. Well, my
Eglin?
bad. Eglin, my bad.
A little tornado warning on that
Yeah, a
one.
little
Right by Eglin.
right by the radar
Oh,
site.
yeah, wow.
Oh, thank you. We
Once
appreciate
you
it.
once you look at it on that closer radar,
Makes a
which by the
difference.
way, let me show you this. So see this storm over here? This is what it looks like when we look at a storm in West Alabama because we're so far away from the radar. We can see the storm, but not much else. Watch what happens if you were to have a radar close by. Look at the extra detail you get. Watch this. When I switch to the other radar, boom.
It's like putting on glasses.
It's like it's like you had,
2020.
2200 vision and then you have 2020 vision.
No, well, 2200.
That'd be pretty rough. That's it right there. So
I
you
mean,
got
it's
a
significant classic hook echo.
classic hook echo. I would have expected a stronger velocity signature out of that, but especially that close to the radar. But it's still that is a formidable storm that doesn't need to be played with. And
No.
oh, by the way that thing's tracking, just a heads up, eastern Geneva
Yeah.
and western Houston counties. You've got to watch that.
Yeah.
That's part of that part of the state that we've been calling out down there that's going to have to stay weather aware here. Wait, you said you're looking at Prattville? It can produce a tornado? You're not out of the woods yet in Prattville, no. So yeah, it could.
Could.
Lots of things could happen. This storm is in Lowndes County right now. It's the one we're talking about. If you live in Prattville, there is no need for you to be worried, concerned, scared, spooked, frightened, or hysterical. You just need to watch it. And let us do it. We'll watch it. If this thing shows any type of strong rotation signs or tornado warning pops, we'll be on TV in a second.
Yeah.
Lee says great TMP. He is.
Oh, he is. We have multiple great TMPs back there. Mm-hmm. A lot of hard work. A lot of behind the scenes stuff y'all don't get to see that puts us on TV, makes us
look
good.
better than we are. Level of concern for Enterprise. How do you answer that question, Nick? What is your level of concern for Enterprise? This is a real hard. We've been struggling with this part of our job, ladies and gentlemen. How do you answer that? If you say low, then the average person hears the word low and goes,
Nah,
I'm not worried about low. I'm going to bed.
that's not zero, though.
Right. And a low chance, like,
It's still a chance.
well, let's say there were 10 of us going to eat dinner and we picked a restaurant. And I said, wait a minute. I know for a fact if we go to that restaurant, one of us will get food poisoning.
Uh-huh.
That's a low chance, 1 out of 10.
It is.
Would you go eat there?
Probably not.
No. No one in there. I mean, everybody, if you said someone's going to get food poisoning if you go there,
Yeah.
everyone would be like, whoa, no, I'm out. So we don't know how to answer that question, if we're being real honest. There's a risk. That risk is not overwhelming. It is a risk, though. You need multiple reliable ways of getting weather warnings. You need to know where you'll go if a tornado threatens. It's over by midnight or 1.
There's Mark.
Y'all know this guy, don't you? That is award-winning anchorman
Just dropping in.
Mark Bullock. He has anchorman hair, too.
With important information. That
Nick and
he
I are
was-
both jealous of Mark's hair.
I could use a little more.
His is
of it,
immaculate. Mine is turning loose on the top and gray on the sides.
but we just won't show the back of my head.
We've got a solar charging panel right up here.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps me well charged if I'm out and about.
Mm.
Hey, I have a message.
You have a message. All right, pass it
I
along.
have a message to all of the online people out there. So my Instagram is not very strong. I need more followers. It's Mark Bullock TV, all one word.
Mark Bullock.
And then
TV.
that's Mark Bullock with the news.
That's Mark Bullock with the news.
Hey, a side note too, we do have a news at 9 that airs on Bounce TV, if you get that on your cable provider, or over the air, which is 12.2. And fun fact, a lot of people don't know this, it airs in Dothan as well in the Wiregrass. I think that's on the CW10, which is, I think, channel 4.3 over the air. Don't quote me on that. But
think you're right.
I think it's the CW station down in the Wiregrass. So we'll be on the air covering what's happening right now
In about 6 minutes.
in about 6 minutes.
Which
so
means this Facebook Live is going to end in about 6
minutes.
/ YouTube Live.
We're not on Bounce in Montgomery.
Are we? Okay, there's certain nights we're on Bounce. There's certain nights we're
Mark,
not,
several people
so-
are telling you to clean up.
I'm working on it.
If you're new to this, Mark does a franchise piece about local restaurants and which ones need to clean up. It's must-see TV. It really is. I mean, I use that. I mean, if y'all are busting out there with a 70 score, I'm out,
No.
man. I'm out. I'll make me a ham sandwich, stay at home.
Unless it's a certain restaurant that sells waffles that I shall not name the rest of it.
This guy.
I mean, usually you want that around the 70s. Better that way.
Right. That means the,
It means
the
it's
grease
good.
is the grease has been
It
there.
is
a minute.
good, but we're not going to name names here. But
Okay, so before we go, let's do this. So here's our current situation. You've got this, what's left of this line of storms right through here. A few of the storms within it, and I'll circle them, are pretty strong. This thing is moving to the east pretty quickly. At the same time, there's a large cluster of storms down here south of this line, down this way, back over Florida and out into the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to move up through southeast Alabama. Both of these areas are capable of producing isolated tornadoes. So we are not out of the woods yet unless you live in Chilton, Coosa, Dallas, Perry, Marengo counties, Clark County. You're out of the woods. You're done. It's all past you. But out ahead of this line and out ahead of these storms to the south, there is still a risk of isolated tornadoes. So you have to stay weather aware. We are not quite out of the woods yet in some of those southern areas. For Montgomery, there's an intense storm in Lowndes County that's going to come over Montgomery within the hour. We will have to watch it carefully to see if we detect any signs of rotation or anything like that. There have been some signs of rotation in that storm. it will affect Lowndes, Montgomery, potentially Autauga and Elmore counties down the road. It bears watching, but that's it. You don't need to hide from it yet. You don't need to be afraid of it. We will do the work. We'll watch it. See it? That's what we're talking about right there. Little pocket of rotation northeast of Hayneville. That's along Alabama Highway 21. That's right over. If you're familiar with that road, there's a big, beautiful white home on the east side of the road right there. It's gorgeous. Big, pretty fence. It's right over that. If you live there, I probably just scared the bejesus out of you. But if you live there and nothing's happened yet, it's not going to happen, so don't sweat it. But that's what it looks like on radar. This is going to move northeast up into northwestern Montgomery, southern Autauga counties. There's no active tornado with this. Don't have to worry about it. Let us worry about it. We'll do all the worrying. So there you go. Nick, any famous last words?
Just know that we'll be here for you always and be here throughout the night. And once the storm passes, we'll give you the all clear.
Indeed we will. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kill the audio on this Facebook Live, and then I'm going to leave this map up for a minute. And you guys can watch it, look at it, learn it, love it, live it. And if this will answer all of your questions.
Hey, mic check 1, 2.
And then occasionally what we'll do is I'll pop back in from time to time. Like we're in a commercial break on the 9. We'll pop back in and say hello. We'll drag Nick in. We may even get Mark back over here.
For a shameless plug for the Instagram.
We do it for the gram.
Just follow all our social media.
Yeah,
you can
right.
find us we're everywhere you are. I mentioned that before.
You sure can. And we will resume this at 9:30 and then plow on in from there. That Lowndes County rotation's tightening up a little bit.
Yeah.
So this all may be... by the way, what will happen on this Facebook Live, if we end up in a tornado warning, we will end it immediately. And then you will need to watch our coverage on WSFA, on our weather app, online. You can watch it in a lot of places. So, man, that's... they saying anything?
Nope. They haven't said anything since 8:36. It's kind of turning into a Butler County situation again.
So here's what has our concern right now. Pretty stout rotate. The rotation's tightening up here. This would be, again, on Alabama 21 between Hayneville and the intersection of 21 and US 80. So this is in northeastern Lowndes County. If you live from Lounsboro back over towards Katoma Creek, Katoma Elementary School, the Save-It plant, you need to be weather aware. You need to be ready to move to that safe place. So we've been kind of talking about this one for a while now, but this last scan, that's something. Okay, right as we say that, the National Weather Service says area of rotation now approaching Highway 80 near Lowndes Montgomery line. Radar showing a bit more outbound winds now, so zeroing in our eyes on this cell. Isn't it great when two people sitting in Montgomery and a bunch of people sitting in Birmingham can look at the exact same data and get to the exact same conclusion?
Yep.
I hope that makes you at home feel pretty good. That we're okay at this. We've been doing this a while now. We've got a lot of experience about this whole thing, and that's how we try to help you. So,
Don't let them know.
yes, please do. So this strong area of rotations in northern Lowndes. So just to zoom it out a little bit, here's Montgomery over here. The rotation is on the southeast side of Lounsboro right there. I've circled it. It's approaching the intersection of Highway 21 and US 80. That would be west of the Montgomery-Lowndes County line. There is a BP service station at that intersection. And if you live there, I need you to be paying very close attention to the weather. Okay, the news is starting at 9, so we'll talk when we can. I've got an idea. I'm going to let y'all watch Nick do the weather.
Right now, it's in the central part of the state. The First Alert Weather team has been following this system closely all day. Here's a live look at Montgomery. WSFA First Alert meteorologist Nick Nutter is joining us live from the Storm Track Zone with the very latest. Nick?
Yeah, Mark, we're continuing to watch this line track its way across the state of Alabama as we speak. And as it marches through some unstable air, it still could pose an issue for us in portions of not only the river region, but mainly south toward the Wiregrass. Here's a look at first alert radar right now, and you see a big complex of showers and thunderstorms currently working their way through the central portion of the state, stretching all the way down into the Florida Panhandle. Now, there's a couple of tornado warnings that are down in the Florida Panhandle. At the moment, we're not seeing anything here locally, but there are some areas that we're watching very closely. One of the areas is here in Lowndes County. I want to go ahead and turn on our velocity product here. You can see a little bit of rotation that's currently tracking north of Hayneville and working its way kind of close to where Autauga and Montgomery counties meet there along the Alabama River, and that would be moving off in a northerly direction. So that's one cell that we're watching very closely. And then we're also watching what's happening down here in the Wiregrass from, say, south of Phoenix City down toward Troy, Andalusia, and down toward Dothan. That area is primed, a lot warmer air in place down here. And as we go ahead and turn on the national temperature map, you can see temperatures still in the 60s, near 70, and that could pose an issue as these line of showers and storms rush across the Wiregrass and southeastern portions of the state. So coming up at the full first alert forecast, we're going to go hour by hour in detail, show you what you can expect for the rest of the night, when it pushes out, and the cold air that comes in behind it. I'll have the details on that in just a few minutes, Mark.
Yeah, the Wiregrass should see this weather later in the evening, which is why having a weather radio is so important. We also encourage you to use this QR code on your screen. You can scan it with your phone's camera, and it will take you to a page on our website where you can watch continuing live coverage.
All right, there it is. It's a small rotation, but it's very wrapped in rain. You would never see it. All right, so it's hard to make anything out on that. So it actually shows up very well here. It's right over that BP. It's a BP service station at the intersection of 21 and 80, and a little west of Potomac Creek. That's where it is. It's a pretty stout rotation, honestly. Especially the outbound rotation. That right there, very strong outbound signature on this. It's in an odd spot. Look at that, Nick. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you would expect to see it down here, but it's right in the middle of the storm. Makes you wonder about maybe a little side lobe contamination. Because there's your couplet. Is there anything maybe on the back side of it? It's tough to say.
It does look better on that than it does over here on this other computer.
It does, yeah. Radar scope doing a good job fleshing that one out.
But it's just in a wall of water.
Okay, so in the new update, it's almost all outbound.
Yeah.
We'll animate it. There you see it. Let's look at the CC. Make sure we didn't have
I don't see
anything flying. No.
There is one lightning strike in there.
One.
Just one, which
I wonder if it just crossed the warm front.
And
So
it
it
just-
tightened up, and then now it's going to
Going down.
fall off cliff.
We'll have more
Let's hope.
in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, we are learning more details about the case involving the death of a 16-year-old
A
summer high
toxicology
school
report
student.
is shedding
Today,
light
law
on the
enforcement
summer
released
high
the
school
results of
student.
the
Someone believes she
toxicology
into
report.
full notes as
All right, guys, we're popping in and out with the audio because we're in the middle of a newscast.
Allotted time the state has to carry out executions.
Just know we're watching all of it.
Penalty experts say the state is being too secretive and that more time will not fix the struggles the state has had to administer.
Track on the area of rotation, sure.
Ivy says there is no
By the way, that area of rotation is dying a very quick death.
she's looking in.
Remember we told you it would move across the warm front, the rotation would probably tighten up, and then it would die off. I think that's pretty well what's
The
happening.
only thing that they issued was a airport warning. It's all Birmingham to
Yeah.
kind of close to the airport.
She says there's no timeline on how long the review process.
Something like that for the storm track on that.
Meanwhile, the governor also delivered a
Maybe the first line might have been a little better, honestly.
at the Alabama State
I'm not sure it goes as far right as the
legislative
second line.
This was the last
But it'll generally move across northwestern Montgomery County and then the south end of Prattville and then head towards Millbrook. But as it moves north, it will probably continue dying out. So I would not be overly worried about this. You need to pay attention to it, but I would not be overly worried. Hey, Clint says, I turned the mic off because I'm tired of talking to y'all. No, I'm not. We're just in the middle of a newscast. It's actually happening behind me. So, like, we're over here. Hey, Nick, you're on camera.
Oh, hey. Hi.
And that's where the news is happening. So we have to talk quiet.
And just so you're aware, a little housekeeping, Birmingham said the same thing we've been watching. It's rotations weakening. As a new scan came in, we saw the same thing.
Okay, so yeah, another. You just gotta love it. So Birmingham on the same page. And by the way, we know the NWS National Weather Service employee who's chatting with us. We know him well. He does a fantastic job. That whole office, man, they are just loaded.
And for us, they're running the radar in a more
Where it
low-level
scans frequently.
so they
Right.
can get the latest data.
We need to get that NWS office some NIL money, man. Is that a thing? Can Weather Geeks get NIL money?
And they're up in Calera, so
They deserve it.
yep, at the Shelby County Airport.
Next time you're on I-65,
Wave at them.
honk the horn. Tell them you love them.
A lot of people are usually stopped on the interstate right there because of traffic. So
Because of traffic, yeah, they'll definitely see it.
Aaron will be following the session for us.
Okay, tornado warning in the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah, Tallahassee covers that area. They're just popping them off.
So that storm, if it holds together, will affect eastern Geneva. So Geneva to Hartford, that area. So that'd be right along Highway 52.
That one's
It's still in Florida right now.
yeah,
So
it's like north of Ponce de Leon and
Ponce de Leon.
65, wrong interstate.
Interstate 10.
I-10.
So that's in Florida. We're watching that one. The Lowndes County one that we've been tracking is moving north of the warm front now, so it's weakening. Then we've got this kind of a big bubble-looking storm back here. This is a beefy storm in Conecuh County. Not really rotating, it doesn't seem anyway.
And our friends down in Florala is just getting rocked with rain.
Tough to get a strong
storms.
radar look at it. It is. That's my next one I'm going to stop by. That's happening in Conecuh County right now. Quick radar scan for velocity on that. Don't see any rotation. We're pretty far away from the radar, but we'll keep an eye on it. Frankly, that storm doesn't look like any type of rotation. The shape of it's pretty good. This one is kind of watch that. You know, that looks like a mermaid.
It does. There's
See,
a lot
there's
of
the
light.
head, there's an arm, there's an arm.
I see that.
Mermaid, and that's the tail right out here. See,
Cool.
I probably need a vacation.
The lightning is popping off that storm though over Florala.
Let's do a quick. You think Eglon's closer or Rucker?
We're good right now.
Eglon closer.
Yeah, that's the one that popped up on here.
Okay.
We're good right now, Will.
All right. So. Yeah. That's mainly a strong wind signature, but see how you can, there's real estate between the red and the green. See how there's this very clear cutoff. It's usually a strong wind signature. Now where you'd have to watch is if you were to see some areas where this line starts to kink a little and you see a little green get pulled in towards the radar and the red gets pulled out.
44 lightning strikes just in that area.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
That's a storm to watch then, because oftentimes that increase in lightning strikes can be kind of a precursor to problems. Kayla says, joins the live to see a mermaid. Alice says, not on WSFA on TV. We're not, nor should we be. There's no active tornado warning
Well,
in our area.
The newscast is on a different channel.
It's on a different channel. That is correct. That's what they're talking about.
Alabama's longtime U.S. Senator Richard Shelby is nearing his final day in office. And today, lawmakers on Capitol Hill bid their farewells.
It may be live streaming right now. I don't know. I'll look.
After 36 years
Yeah, so sorry about the confusion there. This newscast airs exclusively on Bounce TV. That's WSFA 12.2. You can get it over the air for free. It also airs in Dothan on 4.3.
Yeah, WTVY.
WTVY 4.3.
CW Dothan.
CW Dothan 4.3. So we do this every night, by the way, this 9 o'clock news. So if you want to get an early start on getting to bedtime, do it.
You see my lovely face at 9 most nights, Wednesday through Friday.
That's right. There's no active tornado anywhere. Somebody giving us grief for joking a little bit. If there was any evidence of a tornado anywhere, we would not be joking and we'd be on TV. So if you see us joking, that's probably good news. Just take the win, right?
Shelby has chaired 4 Senate committees.
What's
Appropriations,
happening there?
Rules, Banking, and Intelligence. Before serving in the Senate,
Oh,
he
yeah, I
served
see. It's just
Alabama for
busy.
4 terms in the U.S. House and 8 years.
I have to watch that a little bit. That storm coming out of Lowndes is kind of cycled a little bit. Check out the shape on that one.
But it's going back to where you said that's where we'd be concerned.
Kind of get that little shape.
Yeah.
Coming into southwest part of the city of Montgomery right now. So, again, this is what we do when we're not on TV, is sit here and look at storms. Lauren, yes, it did help.
Title 42, a rule invoked by former President Donald Trump during the pandemic, is set to expire next week. And as the clock ticks, the Biden administration is
Oh, I muted it. Sorry, it was muted that entire time. My bad. Operator error.
also from Washington tonight. The January
It happens.
6th
It does.
announcement will hold its
That's why I'm a meteorologist and not an audio operator.
Monday.
That's why they're in the back.
Not any good at it.
On December 1st. According to the committee chairman, the panel's full report will include criminal
We appreciate you letting us know you couldn't hear us.
Sounds back on now.
committee has promised to have a report released before the new year.
That's a great way to drive up the number of comments on this Facebook video, though.
Just turn off
Turn
sound
the
and just
sound
start
off, start
talking.
talking. Everyone will say, no sound, no sound.
Our WSFA First Alert Weather Team still closely monitoring the storms that are moving through our state as we speak. It's raining right now in Troy, as you can see. Nick is back with the latest. from
Nick, I know him.
I dabble in weather.
He's a dabbler.
Yeah, every now and
Okay,
then.
so this is the storm we're watching right out here, southwest side of Montgomery.
That's one to watch.
That's one to watch. Makes you wonder if it's kind of riding that front a little bit. Maybe it didn't just cross over it. Maybe it's just kind of hanging out on it. It's close to the warm front, and when that happens, guys, there's an enhancement of your wind shear locally right around that warm front. So that's what we've got to watch for with this specific storm. Anything new for Geneva? We'll pop back down there real quick. You got a tornado warned storm south of you in the Florida Panhandle.
And they just updated that watch, by the way, Josh.
They dropped more counties?
They dropped more counties. You
Sweet.
are now out of it if you're in Monroe and Wilcox.
Wow. Monroe, Wilcox, all clear. Man, that thing is,
We are happy about that,
we're glowing.
literally.
It's that, somebody adjusted that light or something, or hit it. I don't know what. It didn't used to do that. The glow is real. The glow up is real. Something like that. It's weird, man.
R9 tossing to break. Oh, is there a clicker? I can use it. It's fine.
Right here. Here's one.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Teamwork makes the dream work. Josh, I saw you in Academy the other night, and you didn't even ask to take a picture with me. Super upsetting. That's a good joke. I like it.
I love it.
I want some more of it. Kaylee, I will not make that mistake again.
Is it? Shame on you for not turning the audio on.
I know. DJ, that's not the same rotation. The one in Montgomery County, that storm cycled. The original rotation died out. A new one formed, and it will probably die out soon too. Watch when I animate it. If you look carefully, you can actually see it. The original rotation was up here. This is a new one that is flared up on the southern end of it, right down here. And notice, these will do this. This is not unusual at all, just so you know. There you go. So when I animate it, watch. Original rotation up here.
And today's the first alert.
This is the new one.
Because we have a significant
Nick's doing weather, so I'm gonna hush.
across the state of Alabama as we speak. We're looking at first alert alerts right now, and you can see a large area of Alabama still under a tornado watch that goes through for most of us until 1 o'clock in the morning from Montgomery over toward Auburn down toward the Wiregrass and point south. If you live in any one of these areas shaded in yellow, you need to stay weather alert through tonight because of this tornado watch that goes through 1 o'clock in the morning for the Wiregrass eastern portions of the state. Let's go and show you what's happening right now. Here's a look at first alert radar. Very messy, very active for us tonight, 9:20 at night. See showers and storms currently working their way here across the river region, and some more storm cells off toward our south. Let's go ahead and dive in on some of these storms that we're currently watching. Zooming in here on Montgomery County, one lightning strike so far that we're seeing, but we're continuing to watch storm cells right along a warm front that have the potential to be strong to severe at times. So that's what we're watching closely. Right now, though, nothing severe here across Montgomery County, but we're seeing a lot of rain, heavy rain, and wind, along with a couple of lightning strikes with this storm cell. We're going to watch it closely. A little bit further south, though, you can see more storm cells rolling out of the state of Florida into southern portions of Alabama. There's one tornado-warned storm just north of Bonifay heading toward Geneva County. We'll see what happens with that with the National Weather Service out of Tallahassee if they decide to extend this over into Geneva County. And then we're watching more storm cells off toward our west. Now, once we see this initial line past the region, we're starting to see the all clear. Most of West Alabama now, you're out of the tornado watch. Good news. Your severe weather threat has ended. It's just East Alabama, the Wiregrass.
No, there is no tornado on the ground.
Here's what it looks like outside here in Montgomery, HealthStar Camera Network. A lot of rain downtown from the RSA building. As we look at temperatures, this is a good sign to tell us where the atmosphere is still unstable. Temperatures down in Evergreen, Ott, Ozark, Troy, still above or at 70 degrees. So that's what we're watching, the primed area for stronger storms. Places like Clanton, Alex City, you're at 64 to 63 degrees respectively. Your severe weather threat way low, near zero, because the atmosphere is a little bit more stable, and you can already see that colder air inching its way into the state of Alabama and West Alabama. That is why our severe weather threat's ending over there in that part of the state.
Nick's doing weather, so I'm not talking, just so you know.
Show you what we can expect as we approach the 10 o'clock hour. Still dealing with showers and storms from Auburn, Tuskegee, Union Springs, Troy, Andalusia, and Enterprise. And as we march our way toward 1 o'clock in the morning, the good news is a lot of this activity starts to push over into the state of Georgia. That'll end our severe weather threat, and the cold air starts to nudge in. Notice 50s for us over here in West Alabama, inching here into the river region as well. And then that cold air will continue working its way across the state, and that will be the big story as we move toward our Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. These colder temperatures will work in, and it's going to be feeling a lot different outside. If you remember last week, we were in the 80s. As we move toward the end of this week, it's going to be feeling a little bit different. So we're going to keep with breezy winds behind the front Thursday, clearing things out, seeing a little bit more sunshine.
Montgomery rotation dying out.
The upper 50s Thursday, Friday. Lows also back into the 30s. Cold for the weekend, low 50s for highs with lows near freezing. Could see a quick sprinkles on not only Saturday, but again Monday into Tuesday. Trying to trend a little bit warmer for the first day of winter on Wednesday. Nevertheless, it will be a lot colder feeling outside after that warm temperatures and stormy weather.
Hey, Deanna.
Don't go anywhere. More WSFA
No rotation near
12
Sampson.
after this.
There's some rotation south of Geneva. It may clip eastern Geneva County. Tornado warning storm in the Florida Panhandle. All right, Nick's done with weather. Nick, you did a sterling job.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You should consider doing this for a career.
I think so. I think I'd get paid to do
I
that.
do. How much longer for slap out? Here, let me show you.
Oh, good news. Okay, let's see who's out of the watch
Now through 10, we're trimming a bunch of counties out,
trimming.
guys.
We like this.
Like a slow kid in dodgeball.
Oh, good news.
Out.
All right, Loudons,
Autauga.
you're out.
Lowndes County, Autauga County, you are no longer in the tornado watch.
We like it.
Hallelujah.
We love it.
We want some more of it. The great philosopher Timothy Octavius McGraw. Okay, so we're in a quick commercial break in our 9 o'clock news. This is Nick Gunner. I'm Josh Johnson. We are the Red Tie Guys.
Right.
RTGs for short. It's like OGs, but different.
Yeah, and there's Rosie and Mark behind them. They're
Also,
about to do other
OGs
things.
themselves.
Yes.
In their own regard.
Yes.
Okay, anything of concern headed towards Enterprise? Nick, what do you see?
Well, we're continuing to watch those storm cells to the south. Good news is, though, right now you're dealing with rain, nothing severe at the moment. And as we continue to see this line march across Enterprise, hopefully we can trend down with a severe weather threat, but you're still under that tornado watch. You're still going to be dealing with showers and storms. There's a storm cell just south of you, kind of southwest near Florala. That has a lot of lightning within it. Luckily, no rotation at this time, but it's going to be a very loud storm as it moves toward Enterprise.
And it could rotate.
It could. I mean, not saying there's no chance for that. So we're going to have to don't let your guard down.
And Nick,
essentially.
I'll point this out. The National Weather Service just issued Storm Prediction Center issued a meso update. A mesoscale area potentially favorable for a tornado seemingly exists across southeast Alabama. It's like they watch our Facebook Lives,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, you remember that triangle you drew at the beginning of this Facebook Live?
That's southeast
That
Alabama,
was
man.
Wiregrass.
Yeah, but you were on that one too. So
well.
excellent work. Please answer about Titus so this lady will know if she can go home or not. I didn't see the Titus question. There's like 4,000 questions, so it's tricky sometimes. Titus, honestly, the risk in Titus is not over, but it's pretty close to it. It's really low. If I lived in Titus, I would go home, personally. I'd say weather aware, but I would go home.
Which storm is this?
Let's see. Make sure this thing's behaving. Yeah. Don't see anything that jumps off at us there.
Definitely a wind event.
Yeah, it's very windy here right now. So this is your closest tornado warning to Alabama. It's across the Florida state line. But the way this is moving, if it holds together, it's going to get up into south central and eastern Geneva County, mainly from the town of Geneva points east. So Black, Hartford, and Slocum.
And if it holds together, it would go to that weird appendage of Houston County.
The Houston County Panhandle?
Yeah, the Panhandle.
Yeah. Amarillo by Morton.
Hear that?
Pretty loud.
Your mic is like awful. Yeah, it's something's wrong with it.
I wasn't moving.
Oh, sorry. Are we still?
We are, yes.
Okay, so
So Nick didn't like Rosie's mic situation.
little backstory. We wear these things called IFBs. I'm not sure what IFB stands for.
Interruptible feedback.
Oh, thank you. The more you know. Where's the NBC rainbow and the star? So we could hear what's being broadcast over the air, and we could hear the feedback from Rosie's mic. Just
It was a situation.
lot of-
All right. I wasn't going to answer, but Michael Lusk asked this one in all caps with 5 question marks. So I'm going to answer because I'm a very nice person. About Tallahassee. Tallahassee, you're not quite done with this yet. You've got this line of storms back over in Montgomery. See it? You're going to catch this. The good news is this is really the back edge of the severe weather threat. So this will come through Tallahassee between about 9:50 and 10:20. And once it's gone, say 10:20, 10:30, you're done with the risk of severe weather. So that's the story for Tallahassee. So there you go. McKenzie down in South Alabama, you've still got a ways to go. Give it another 45 minutes, though, and you'll be done. How's Troy looking? Storms arrive later. For Troy, I think the threat level there sticks around a little later because of how far southeast you are. We'll say about midnight or so, we'll probably be done with this in Troy. Here's the storm timing map if you like it. If you don't, just boo at your computer. Goshen, and she used all caps with 6 exclamation points. So I got to answer that, right? Same as Pike County. Now through midnight, risk of severe weather still present. Storms building off to your west. You're going to have some heavy rain. We'll watch for any isolated tornadoes. For clarification, what we're saying about possible conditions for Enterprise, it's wet, it's stormy. There's another batch of storms over Geneva County that's moving in your direction. It'll arrive and then push on through pretty quick. We've got to watch it carefully. We will. Right now, we don't see any signs of anything dangerous. All right, news is about to come back on. I'll answer more questions in a minute.
Hey, tomorrow is the deadline to donate in our Coats for Comfort campaign, so check your closets, maybe make a trip to the store in the morning. We are teaming up with Penny Purse to collect new and gender-used coats and distribute to people who need them. You can drop off those coats at the locations on your screen. That includes the lobby of WSFA 12 News on 445 Dexter Avenue, Jim Matthews Cleaners, Penny Purse, or the South Asian Department. All right, we are following the weather tonight because it is a first alert weather day. That means there is the potential for severe weather.
Yeah, and we've had impactful weather through the day today. A lot of it has dealt with rain, a few thunderstorms. We've had a couple tornado warnings earlier. Currently, right now, the good news is we're not tracking any warned storms, but of course, we live in Alabama, we know that could change. Area shaded in yellow, that is our tornado watch that goes through most of us through 1 o'clock in the morning as this line of showers and storms does march its way across the region. You can see that there through 1 a.m. Here's a look at first alert radar. Messy radar currently here across the river region down toward the Wiregrass. Seeing some heavy rain here in Montgomery County, pushing through a couple lightning strikes.
So far, so good. Just finished doing a big radar check. So you've got this storm behaving, this storm behaving, this storm behaving. This one not as much down in far south Alabama. So Geneva County, we've got to keep an eye on you with that. All right, severe thunderstorm warning, Coffee in Geneva County. Just got issued. It'll pop up in a minute. It's for that storm we were telling you about.
Audio problems during sports, that wasn't just you, you're really aware of that, and we apologize. Thanks so much.
Okay, the rotation that prompted that warning in the Panhandle, frankly, is weakened considerably. So I really don't see much of a tornado threat there with that one. Here's your storm that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning here.
Which we were watching earlier.
That's what I was just telling them.
Oh, sorry, I was doing that.
No, I know you were working. I'm over here just playing. I'm not doing anything.
You're about to do the 10, so. But we talked about the wind threat with that one, and it looks like
Indeed, we did.
they're seeing the same thing. We love it when we're kind of in sync with the weather service here.
It's a good feeling.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, that kind of helps mitigate that storm down in Florida, but we'll see how that plays out.
Why are y'all not live on WSFA?
Because there's no tornado.
There's no
warning.
That's what someone answered. Said there's no tornado warnings. That's the honest answer. There's no tornado warnings. If we had a tornado warning, or if we saw tonight, we went on for Butler County before they even issued a tornado warning.
Yeah.
So if we see anything that looks dangerous, we will go live on WSFA, and this Facebook Live will be dropped
So quick.
like a bad check, man.
Drop it like it's hot.
So,
Do people write checks anymore?
no.
Our
Checks.
producer Will in the back just told me in my ear he still writes checks.
I could see that. He's
It'll
a
be-
thorough guy.
It'll be dropped as fast as that credit card.
As fast as Will's checkbook.
I guess they'll slide it. We'll slide. I'm gonna stop. It's been a long day.
You need some caffeine here.
I do not need a Mountain Dew.
I don't have much of one left.
No.
I have to reload on that.
I need to go get some water.
I'm a Gatorade. I need water too.
I had a little bit of an energy drink earlier. Maybe that's what's happening.
Can I go back home to Titus? I think I've answered that one. I thought I did. I answer that one?
I think you mentioned it, but I was doing the weather.
Okay,
over there,
yeah,
so
you
I'm
can.
not sure.
Titus, I feel comfortable saying the threat of severe weather is over in Titus. There's the
Wet.
radar. It's going to be really super wet.
So I would use caution on the roads.
Yeah, that's their biggest danger is driving in the rain. You can wait a little while. I think you'll be all right.
Watch for ponding over roadways. Mm-hmm. That always scares me. Don't want to hydroplane.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Honestly, just driving in the rain and other people the way they drive in the rain. Yeah. Jerome says, Josh, you stopped drinking Orange Diet Sunkissed. No, I didn't. I just swapped it up for a minute.
Right.
And honestly, if I'm being real honest here, it's been so expensive lately. I've been buying what's on sale. And my DMD over here,
2 for 1.
yeah, the director of meteorological domination,
Perfect.
a.k.a. Diet Mountain Dew, we got to sell on that.
Well, yeah.
What?
I don't drink Diet Mountain Dew, but yeah.
Why do you not?
I don't know. It's just
Something
you
you're
know.
not
I
into?
used to be real into it when I was younger. Code Red was my favorite.
Code Red, that was a jam,
was
man.
Clutch. But the older I got, Diet DP, Coke Zero, that's my jam now.
Coke Zero strong. All right, asking about Dothan. There's storms coming in. They're coming in. There's that severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, for Enterprise, Fort Rucker, and Delville.
And the tornado warning was dropped,
Tornado, yeah, that storm just completely petered out,
but I feel like
which is odd. Why would it do that? It's in a perfect environment.
it almost makes you wonder if this storm over here
Put out an outflow
kind
boundary or
of,
something?
affecting it.
Might be. So there's your severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Dale, southeastern Coffee, far northern Geneva. There's another cluster. Well, we can do everything but talk here, can't we?
Well, they're recording something for the morning show.
Yeah, that's great. We really should move this rig back there.
Yeah, but when we're in here and something pops,
It's nice to be in here.
that's why I wish we had that glass wall.
Perfect. Should ask somebody about that.
Or maybe just a curtain that looks halfway decent. I don't know.
Anything really.
Plexiglass. I don't know.
There is not a tornado 10 miles south of Geneva. There was a tornado warning earlier for that storm. It's since expired.
And I don't think it was ever confirmed. It
Right,
was just radar
just a warning.
indicated.
ETA for East Montgomery, all clear.
Heavy rain.
I mean, for you, East Montgomery, all clear. Half hour. I think that stuff down here will stay
South.
south of you, so not too worried about that. Yeah, Billingsley, you're done. No more severe weather for you. Notice Salga. Still got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
You'll probably be done with this by about 11 or 11:30. Try the Dew Zero. It's the new clutch.
Mountain Dew Zero.
I've had that. It is good.
You know, fun fact, MD Zero has more caffeine in it than Diet Mountain Dew. Figure that one out. Figure that one out.
What in the name of Surge is going on?
R.I.P. Surge.
Covington County. The very end of it is coming through in about an hour for Covington, I think. I mean, Covington, you're in pretty good shape. I can't give you an all clear yet, but as of right now, things look pretty nice. What about Red Level? Is bad gone for Red Level?
Shout out Red Level. That's where my uncle lives, between Gant and Red Level and Gant Red Level Road. Fun fact.
severe weather risk is decreasing quickly. And I think for Andalusia and Covington County, you'll be all clear by probably 11:30 maybe.
See what Tallahassee's popping off.
What about Evergreen? Are we going to be good? Yeah, Evergreen, you're good.
You good?
There's one storm coming south of you. It's pretty weak though. And after it, you're all done.
Hopefully we can drop some of these watches off too pretty
Here
soon.
we go. Beauregard, Lee County, you're fine. Show you what's happening up here. Quick answer is not a whole heck of a lot. You're still in a tornado watch, but it's pouring rain. That's helping to stabilize the air. Never say never, but the odds of a tornado in Lee County tonight would be on the slim side. Still, you're in a tornado watch. There's storms around. You need to stay weather aware. Have a weather radio close by. You'll be good. How long does Millbrook have with the storm? It's going to keep raining for a good while, but the severe weather threat in Millbrook is
really pushing away.
Is
more toward
essentially
Wetumpka now.
over.
Yeah.
So there's radar. You see Lee County over here. See all that rain? That's helping. Strong storms in Elmore County, but they're all right there. They're all to the east of Millbrook. So from Millbrook, it rains some more, but from a severe weather standpoint, you're looking all right. We'll wait on them to officially clear you from the watch, but you're looking all right for now.
Really, it's like 231 east.
Yeah, it really is. It's right along 231, quite frankly. Is a severe thunderstorm warning mostly strong winds, or is a rotation? It's strong winds. We don't see any sign of rotation. Monroeville, you're done. No more severe weather.
It tagged it.
Yep, see Monroeville? A-OK. Troy, storms are on the way later this evening. You'll probably be done with this by about 11 or 11:30. Somewhere between 11 and midnight, most likely. Midnight at the latest, Troy's done. How is it looking in Wetumpka, Josh? It's stormy. Gusty winds there. Still a tornado threat for another hour, maybe less. What's Hartford, Alabama looking at? Pretty intense storm coming into Hartford right now, actually.
Yeah.
Check this booger out, man. There it is. Pouring rain. Probably a lot of lightning in that, too.
That was the strong cell that we watched come out of Florida.
Had the tornado
Yeah,
warning.
that had the tornado
No
warning.
sign of any rotation with that, though. So that's good news, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's see what else we got. Tallahassee. I feel like I've talked about that Tallahassee 19 times tonight. That's all right. Let's make it 20. Still some meat on the bone for you. You've got to clear this batch of storms back here. Has to move through Tallahassee before you're all done. The good news, that should happen sometime around 10:30 to 11:30. So for Tallahassee, this is going to be over within the next hour, hour and a half. Billingsley, you're done. No more severe weather for you. Montgomery will be in the clear no later than 11 p.m., probably closer to 10:30. Elmore County, you'll be in the clear by about 10 o'clock probably. Well, let's say 10:15 just to be safe. What about Greenville? Greenville, the back edge of it is moving through you right now. Once this storm clears, you're done. No more severe weather. So give it 30 minutes and things are better there. Well, I'm scared in Auburn. Penny, don't be scared. This is all going to work out. What about Lowndes County? Showers and storms, but the overall severe weather threat is limited to the eastern sections of the county. If you live from Hayneville west or north, no more severe weather for you. If you live in the rest of Lowndes County from Hayneville east, that severe weather threat will wind down by 10 o'clock. Eclectic. Still got to deal with these storms right here. See them? Those right in here are going to come up through Eclectic over the next 15 to 35 minutes. By 10:30, the threat of severe weather should be over in Eclectic. Let's see. Is there a tornado warning in Coffee County? No, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in Coffee County. Pine Level, Deatsville, Florala, Slapout, Wetumpka, Pine Level, Deatsville, Millbrook, Troy, Montgomery, Elmore, Auburn, Lowndes. I'm not doing all this, guys. Sorry. It's not happening. Here's the times right here. How about this? If you'll pay attention for the next 30 seconds, I will give you a good, firm answer on every community in our area. If you live to the left of that line, right there on that map, if you live on this side of that line, the risk of severe weather is over. So that includes Deatsville, Millbrook, Billingsley, Clanton, Rockford, Goodwater, Prattville, Whitehall, Lounsboro, Hayneville, Selma, Valley Grande, Plantersville, Orrville, Selma, Marion, Uniontown, Fawnsdale, Demopolis, Linden, Camden, Pine Hill, Millers Ferry, Pineapple, Monroeville, Evergreen, Frisco City, Clark County, Monroe County, Wilcox County, Marengo County, Dallas County, Perry County, Chilton County, Autauga County, most of Lowndes County, western Butler County, most of Conecuh County. If you live right of that line, there's still a risk of severe weather. That includes, for now, Wetumpka, Eclectic, Alex City, Montgomery, Pike Road, Greenville, Highland Home, Laverne, Georgiana, and Delusia. But in the cities I just named, the severe weather threat will end within the next hour. Then from there, it'll keep on moving east. It will exit the state no later than 2 in the morning. Here's your times right here. Pick your county out of the list. If you don't know what county you're in and you can't find it on that map, I can't help you, and I'm very sorry.
Side note here, the severe thunderstorm warning was canceled.
Severe thunderstorm warning for Coffee County canceled. Storm just kind of petered out there, didn't it?
It makes you wonder, what is it hitting in that part of the state that's preventing it from,
Something.
which,
Why is Fort Rucker Weather issuing a tornado warning for Geneva County, but y'all don't have it? I do not know, Gail. I can't speak for Fort Rucker Weather, but there is no active tornado warning for Geneva County,
there never was.
and there never was. If there would have been, we would have been on it. No, I'm not sick of y'all. I can't keep up, and that's frustrating. And a lot of it is stuff that we've kind of talked about a bunch. So it's not an irritation thing. It's just I wish there was a smarter way to do this. There has to be a smarter way to do this. We try maps, we try county names, and I'm not sure it always resonates.
Yeah.
I think people just want more detail all the time.
And the problem is
Then we can
there's
give
so many cities in our viewing area that we just would have no time to name off every city.
Well, I just did it nonstop going over all these cities,
Right.
and there were more questions asked than I answered.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's that. No, I'm not irritated. I wish we were better at this.
Just trying to figure out how to communicate the best way.
That's the key. That's the
key.
key. How do you communicate this in a way that makes sense?
Counties make the most sense. I would
Right.
hope everyone knows what county they live in.
I hope so.
If not, there's a Google machine is very helpful in that.
The Google machine will help your life.
Or just look on your car tag registration. It should tell you what county you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if you're registered in the county you live in.
You should, yeah. And do you know do you still do the county tag number
I
thing?
love that. County codes on tags are just so.
That's in Nick's wheelhouse.
I love it.
man.
I love geography. Love maps. Love driving up to see my parents up in Shelby County and knowing that their car tags will have 58 on it because that's
The
what
big
Shelby
5'8",
County
baby.
is. 23, I think it's Covington. That's family live down there.
Yeah. Michael Jordan. That's a good number.
I was
That's good
born. I was
mojo.
born in Lauderdale. That's 41.
41.
Up there in North Alabama. So
I'm from Calhoun. That's a double one.
double one.
That's right.
Montgomery, 3. Fun fact: if you didn't know this, back when they did this back in the day, the 3 most populated counties were 1, 2, 3. So Jefferson, Mobile, Montgomery, and then it's alphabetical after that. That's why
Autauga.
Autauga is 4. If they were to redo that today, of course we would know that Madison would be way up higher than 47, but
Right. And Shelby would probably not be at
58.
58 either.
Shelby's 58, St. Clair's 59, easy to remember.
Right.
I think Sumter's 60. Anyway, I can go on and on. I won't, but I can.
Can we check in on the mermaid? The mermaid has gone swimming in different waters, for better or for worse. We will look at that storm, though, if you'd like.
Yes.
Why not?
We'll dive into
Fire
it.
that puppy up. Here's Fort Rucker radar. So this would be the part of the state that I think we've got to kind of keep our eye on the ball down here. Geneva County specifically. We'll do a quick rotation check on all of this. I mean,
Winds mainly.
strong wind around Hartford, strong wind around Sampson. No rotation, though.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Hopefully.
Knock on wood or whatever this is. Vinyl, I don't know.
Vinyl, something. Paige Burnett says, James Spann said there's not a risk for severe thunderstorms to leave, but we're going to watch, so I don't know what to do. Yeah. You're in the watch, so you need to pay attention. If you have a weather radio and you have a plan, you don't need to worry. Will there be a tornado in Lee County tonight? Probably not. Can I rule it out? No, no one can. So just stay weather aware until the watch gets canceled. For Lee County, that'll probably happen sometime around 11, midnight, somewhere in there.
I'm glad someone actually thinks I'm funny reading the comments.
They do think you're funny, Nick. Nick is a very funny guy.
I'm a dry sense of humor.
Nick is a fun guy to work with, too. He's a fantastic coworker. He's diligent,
Now he's just
conscientious.
Now you're just making me blush through my
He
makeup.
works hard. Well, you look so pale with that light up there. I'm trying to get you some color.
Well, it's fine.
No, it's that light.
It's that light.
Somebody bumped that light or something. I don't know.
Here, let me. No. Nope, not working.
Elmore County, worst of it now. If you live west of Wetumpka, you're probably done. East of Wetumpka, still you got to watch out there from Wetumpka over to Tallahassee. Let's do a quick little rotation check here. See what we see. Not a dime's worth of rotation. Could be some strong wind though.
Yeah.
This will be out kind of
It is kind
Claude, south of Flea Hop, over towards Friendship, Rifle Range Road, that area.
of just where the
strong wind.
strongest rain is. You can kind of see it. A little bit of
Little bowing segment there.
bowing trying to ride out here.
This is what Nick's drawing, by the way.
Yeah, I see all that heavy rain. Could be a lot of gusting winds around that. See the reds, the heavier rain, the cooler, less windy, technical term there, behind it. So
Right. Kind of
rushing in.
gusting out a little
Yeah.
bit. There's what we used to look at rotation, and there's not a nickel's worth. Well, that's good news. I like that.
we'll take it.
I'm a fan. Must confess to being a fanboy on that front.
5 out of 5 stars would recommend.
Would recommend. Charity says, I'm scared to ask a question.
Don't be scared.
I feel like Nick Saban getting grumpy at those press conferences, man. Now everybody's scared to ask a question. Y'all can always ask questions. I can't always answer them, but I will do my best to answer them. What's up?
I was just saying, a lot of people respect Nick, so I mean, not me, Nick, the football coach, Nick. But
You are the Nick. Anything further south? Yeah, we've been watching some down here in the Florida Panhandle. Pop back the radar here. It's been bumpy down here tonight, but same thing is happening here that happened back to the northwest. This large axis of kind of just rain has overtaken these storms. So it eventually, it's like a whole bunch of weeds growing around a flower. It eventually kind of chokes the flower out. It's the same thing. So this large area of yellow on the map here, see all that yellow? That's just kind of just rain that has overtaken most of these storms, and it is gradually choking them out. Now we've had a little rotation at times. There's some right there, in fact. But the overall trend has been pretty good. Now that's starting to tighten up there. That's between Sampson and Coffee Springs, north of Alabama 52. So just a little bit of rotation. It's nothing terrible. It's nothing crazy.
someone did ask about that storm in chat, so we'll see what they have
Okay,
to say.
very good.
Of course, this is
Tree Branch down in Elba. Anything about Mobile? I think this is all through Mobile now, isn't it?
yeah, most of it. This is becoming three National Weather Service offices cover our area: Tallahassee, Mobile, and Birmingham. And so this is starting to transition to the Tallahassee coverage area.
How long will this heavy storm be over Rifle Range Road area? Not terribly long. Give it another 20 minutes, 25 minutes, things will be better. There's Mark Bullock.
Mark is back.
Mark, what's your Instagram?
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I don't know if you're all still on from before, but we got 14 new Instagram followers.
Oh, claps for that.
Beast mode.
So, Mark Bullock TV is the Instagram. It needs followers, but you guys are really coming through for me.
Shameless plug.
But now back to the important news of the day, which of course is the weather.
I think he owes us some money for
I
that,
know,
right?
right?
I mean,
I didn't even plug my Instagram and Facebook and whatever else I have.
All right,
Twitter.
Coffee County. We're watching some storms south of you. You had a severe thunderstorm warning that included parts of Coffee earlier. That has since sort of died out, but we're watching some rotation between Sampson and Coffee Springs. Here it is. It's in this storm here. This sucker is rain wrapped, man, like big time. But a little rotation in that. Hopefully all the rain around it will help to stabilize the atmosphere and choke it out, but unfortunately it's spinning. So before that happens, this may spin something up. So we've got to keep a close eye on this thing.
Very impressive too.
Yeah, this is starting to spin a little harder, guys. We're getting a little more concerned. This would be northwestern Geneva County coming into Coffee Springs. This is going to clip southern Coffee, mainly south of Enterprise. Tornado warning, Coffee, Dale, Geneva. Okay. Well, I hate to end this, but it seems like we're going to have to do that.
Yep.
All right, so we're going into live coverage now on WSFA 12 News. What is that, The Voice that's on right now? What do we got?
No, this is just my jam.
Just my jam. Okay. All right, so we're going to do some updates on TV now. You can watch these at WSFA.com. But again, to reiterate the storm we've been alerting you about for a while now, new tornado warning. This was for Coffee, Dale, Geneva counties. It'll pop up on this map momentarily. This would include the south end of Enterprise, Clayhatchee, Daleville, Coffee Springs. Take cover now. So you can watch more coverage. Okay, I can leave this on if you want, but I'll just leave it on the radar. I'll animate it. There's the polygon right there. South side of Enterprise, just like we told you. So I will leave this up, and you'll have the audio, but you will not be able to see the same thing that we're doing. So just so you know, hey, tornado warning, we got to go on. Okay, so again, a reminder for those watching on Facebook and YouTube, if you want to watch the actual tornado coverage, get on the app, head to a TV, get on our Roku app. This will not be the place for that. This is just a Facebook Live where we're chatting about all of this, but you guys wanted me to keep it going, so I'm going to. I will not be able to answer questions either, because we'll be talking TV stuff.
Y'all ready for it?
Yeah, we're ready.
From WSFA 12 News, this is a severe weather alert.
Indeed, it is. I'm WSFA First Alert Chief Meteorologist Josh Johnson. Here's Nick Gunner. We have a new tornado warning to tell you about, Nick.
Yeah, and this includes portions of Coffee County, Geneva County, and over there toward Dell County. And here's the polygon we're currently watching. In northern Geneva County is where the rotation currently is. Now, this polygon includes southern portions of Enterprise. The city of Enterprise goes over to Delville, and northern portions of, it looks like Geneva County there. Coffee Springs, Center Ridge, Central City, Keaton, and Delville, all in this, and southern portions of Enterprise.
Yeah, so here's your possible tornado right out here, very close to Coffee Springs. Red shows you wind blowing away from the radar. Green shows you wind blowing toward the radar. When the two sort of interlock like that, that's a sign of rotation in the low levels of the atmosphere. And it's important to note, this is in the low levels of the atmosphere because we have radar very close by. We're actually able to sample all this off of the Fort Rucker radar, which sits right over here. So your possible tornado is here. Here's the radar. Movement here off towards the east-northeast. I'd say just a little north of due east at around 45 miles an hour. So I'll put a quick storm track on this thing, and this will lead it a little bit. But it's over the west end of Coffee Springs right now. Northeast at 45 takes us on over in this direction. So Coffee Springs right about now, and then beyond that, it eventually gets out here into southern Coffee County, southern Dale County. No formal tornado warning for Houston, but if it keeps on this trajectory, it could brush that far northwestern panhandle of the county. So if you live in Houston County, stay weather aware, but I don't think you have to go to that safe place just yet.
Yeah, and we've been watching this storm over the past hour or so. It was a lot of lightning within the storm cell as it was moving through portions of Florala, northern portions of Florida. It was a severe thunderstorm warning at one point with very gusty winds, and now it hit a more favorable environment, and the rotation within that cell really started to tighten up, and that's the reason why they issued that tornado warning for northern portions of Geneva County, crossing over into Dell and portions of Coffee County.
Yeah, and we're on, frankly, mainly because of Coffee County. Geneva County, Dale County, many people in those counties watch Dothan television. And Coffee County, it's technically belongs to Dothan, but we have a lot of people there that count on us. So we're going to do an update here leading into our 10 o'clock newscast. The 10 o'clock news obviously begins in 5 minutes. the top story is the weather with all that's happened with the storms today. So we will carry coverage through 10 o'clock. Then we will roll our newscast open and begin the 10 o'clock news with an additional weather update. If this storm is not producing a confirmed tornado by that point in time, we'll go into our 10 o'clock news as scheduled and keep you posted. We'll do updates every few minutes on what we're seeing here. But we'll roll our normal 10 o'clock news. Now, if you're watching elsewhere, by the way, overall the trends in the state are pretty good. So you've got a line that runs from the around Kellyton to Montgomery, back down towards Evergreen. If you live anywhere left or west of this line, this is done. It's all over.
Yeah, and we've been the National Weather Service has been dropping the tornado watch as the main line pushes across the state. So all of our friends in West Alabama are done with this. It's just East Alabama, the Wiregrass, and South Alabama, most of it, still watching it very closely as there's a lot of warm air in place and enough dynamics that could cause some of these storm cells to spin, and that's what we're seeing in the Wiregrass right now.
Yeah, and in Montgomery, it's very windy. The storm in Elmore County producing a lot of wind. So is this one in Butler and Crenshaw. But as of right now, no significant rotation noted in these storms. That is wonderful news. We will hope and pray that that continues to be the case. We do, however, have rotation in southeast Alabama, and that's why we're on the air right now. This tornado warning that is clipping that southernmost part of Coffee County. We'll do the Bear and Shear right there. You see a little of where they're talking about. But there's that pocket of rotation right there. It's right along the Geneva-Coffee County line, south of Enterprise. And frankly, if you live in Enterprise, the south end of town is in the Polygon, but this storm, I think, is going to end up right out here, more towards Keaton, Delville, and Clay-Hatchie. So right out here, the next major road this is going to cross, there's County Road 665 right there in the Center Ridge area.
It's like the Geneva Highway as well.
And then from there, it'll keep on kind of going towards the east, pretty quick, east-northeast. So Central City, Chancellor, Center Ridge, County Road 665, Enterprise Road, and then eventually on over towards Clay-Hatchie and into parts of western Dale County. You'll be, again, if you're in any of those communities we just named, you need to be in that tornado safe place, lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind within the storm cell ahead of it too. The National Weather Service just issued a severe thunderstorm warning that includes the city of Dothan. So that may be a good sign for us downstream of it that there's a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning, but nevertheless they're watching that strong line that's moving from Hartford up toward Malvern, making its way toward the Circle City.
And we'll have to keep an eye on this storm down here as well. But that's a lot closer to Dothan.
Right.
And we'll let our sister station down there, WTVY-TV, they'll handle that, as that's kind of more in their service area here. So that's where we stand as of 9:58. The only active tornado warning in the state is down in the Wiregrass. It includes Coffee County. For the rest of the state, it's raining torrentially. There's a lot of thunder and lightning, and there's some gusty wind up and down this line as well. These storms could still rotate, but as of right now, we don't see evidence of that happening in this specific moment. With any luck, our good fortune will hold there. And once this line clears your location, you are done. The risk of severe weather is over once this line comes through. So if you live in West Montgomery even, if you live near the airport,
Right.
This is all over. This is done. In East Montgomery, still storming. We've got to hang on there for a little while. Pike Road still storming. But for Prattville, for Millbrook, for Alex City, for Clanton, the risk of severe weather has ended. Okay, so we are now preparing to begin our 10 o'clock news. The top story of the day is weather. We'll come right back over here, do another update, and then we'll get into the top news stories of the day. As we go through this, we'll keep a close watch on radar, and if we see anything that needs your attention, we'll certainly pass it along as the situation dictates. So here we go. WSFA 12 News at 10 will start right now. My beats aren't working. Can't hear anything. What were they saying?
They were saying 10.
Battery's dead.
A tornado watch in effect for much of Alabama tonight, and we've seen several tornado warnings. The storms still are not out of our state. Good evening, we're glad you're here. Tonight we continue to track the weather on this first alert weather day.
And so far, Alabama has seen a few tornado warnings from this system, but we've avoided the worst of it. But our window for intense conditions isn't quite closed.
Yeah, let's show you where the storms have already had some strength. topped, or I should say ripped through the state of Louisiana earlier today, along with Mississippi. And this is a look at some of the damage in Madison County. That's just outside of the capital city of Jackson. Dozens of trailer homes there and campers were damaged. Metal siding from homes was wrapped around trees and mailboxes, but fortunately there were no deaths reported in Mississippi. There were some injuries. Thousands across the state are without electricity because of the storms tonight. WSFA First Alert meteorologist Josh Johnson and meteorologist Nick Gutter have been following this for us all evening, and they're joining us live from the Storm Track Zone, guys.
All right, yeah, thanks so much, Mark. If you're just joining us, we have an active tornado warning down in the Wiregrass, southeastern Coffee County, southwestern Dale County, north central Geneva County. If you live inside that red box right there, stay indoors. Stay away from windows, be in the lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. The good news here, Nick, I'm not going to be surprised if and when they cancel that tornado warning.
Yeah, the rotation within the storm cell was very noticeable in northern portions of Geneva County, but as it started to ride the line there, the county line, it's really weakened and broadened out. And that's a good sign that the rotation is starting to dissipate, and hopefully we can get this tornado warning cell expired early. Still going to be rocking and rolling though, a lot of lightning, a lot of wind within this storm cell down in the Wiregrass, so something we're going to watch very closely. But that's our only warned storm at the moment here in our WSFA 12 news coverage area.
Indeed it is. And the line of storms itself, by the way, this is it right here, running from Alexander City to Wetumpka to Montgomery, and then curving back like this. If you live anywhere left of this line, it's over. It's all done. Get some rest. Sleep well. You've earned it. And that would include Prattville and Clanton and Selma, Camden and Monroeville, back to Demopolis. East of that line, the storms, unfortunately, we still have some miles to travel here. The good news is it's moving east quickly. This will all be in Georgia, we think, by 1 or 2 in the morning. So the next 3 or 4 hours, we'll go along and follow this very carefully for you and continue that first alert weather day just in case some of these storms begin to misbehave. But as of right now, we're doing all right. Quick update before we go back to news. National Weather Service saying rotation along the Coffee-Geneva County line with this storm is weakening. They'll hold on to the warning a little longer just to be sure. So I think our decision there to ease into our regularly scheduled newscast is the right one. If we see any data that goes the other way, we'll be the first to let you know. So we'll head over to WSFA 12 News anchors Valerie Lawson and Mark Bullock for a look at today's top stories.
All right, Josh, thank you so much. For those of you who are still waiting on that line to reach you, you may want to go ahead and scan this QR code on your screen. You can do that with the camera app on your phone. It will take you to the page on our website where we will be broadcasting live weather alerts. You can also download the WSFA First Alert Weather app.
Well, many people want to help in the aftermath of severe weather. It's a noble cause if you're donating to a legitimate organization. WSFA 12 News reporter Brady Talbot has a warning from 2 Alabama nonprofits that don't want you to get scammed.
Severe weather strikes. Be wary who you donate to.
There will be legitimate
Hey gang, we're back. Nice to see everybody. Had to do a quick TV segment there, and y'all asked to keep it on, so I did. I try to make everyone as happy as possible.
Someone shows up on your doorstep asking for money. It's likely a scam. AARP Alabama says it's always...
What's wrong? I see some people talking about the app not matching up. What's that? I need some more details on that. If we're having a problem with that, let me know and I can do my best to fix it.
Let me go to the app now.
We're gonna check that out, see what.
Pop it up on there.
Hey, Christy, it's good to be back. I promise, it is good. It's always good.
So what's not matching?
Is it delayed or something?
No, it looks all good to me.
Is it, maybe the live coverage? I don't know. Hit the watch live button and see what you get. Y'all holler at me. Let me know. We had some folks saying something wasn't matching up in the app. It was behind or something. Let me. Shit, I don't know how mine is not matching up.
Everything seemed to be going, and we were in the newscast.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, hopefully, if you have a problem, please let me know. We'll get that fixed just as soon as we can. We're in a newscast, so I can only talk a little.
Donations made to the River Region United Way help fund the 39 vetted
Man, look, that storm got just destroyed. That one looks like a wall, just cut off its inflow completely.
Just an idea. Are they still alive?
We're still off.
If your app is not working, check to see if the app needs to be updated. You can go
Always
to
a good idea.
Yeah, if you go to your app store and see if I can remember how to do this.
Oh, it was on Local News Live. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's, we'll talk with the folks in the back and get that cleaned up.
It did kick in though at 10.
Right. Welcome back, guys. Let's wrap back around to that Christmas Day 20 degrees weather inquiry. Should we prep boats or heavy coats? Definitely heavy coats.
Yeah,
It looks so cold for Christmas.
I'm not here for it.
Nick, how do you feel about how cold it feels for Christmas?
No, thank you. No
He
comment.
says, out of here.
I live in Alabama for a reason.
That's right. If I wanted Alaska, I'd move to Alaska.
Exactly. We have a sister station there, and I gotta move there.
Is Elba in the clear? No, not yet. There's more storms back here. Back here. Let me show you. So Elba is right here. There's more storms back here. These have to come through before you're totally in the clear.
They did drop the warning.
Good. Yeah, that warning is a goner. So no more active tornado warnings anywhere in Alabama. Storm timing map here. I should update that graphic. Have we done an app video in a while?
Oh, I can go do that.
Yeah, knock one out real quick. We're going to do an app video. A weather app video. Nick's going to go knock one of those out. News with Tallahassee. Overall, everything's doing all right, honestly. It looks... You're almost out of the woods. You're not there yet. Gosh, you're so close. I'll show you. So, see this right here? This big batch of storms? This will move northeast over the next hour and a half. Tallahassee's right here. So the risk of severe weather will be over in Tallahassee, I'd say by 11:30 at the latest. So, there you go.
Senator Shelby committed his career to the betterment of his state and the nation.
Tornado warning for Enterprise is done. It has been canceled. Prattville is in the clear, Jennifer. Yes. You're done with severe weather.
Shelby is now Alabama's longest serving U.S. senator. He was elected to office 12 times. He will retire with his family.
In Ozark, that storm has weakened a ton. There's really nothing left of it, just some rain. You may have some more strong storms later, but you're good for now.
About a new law that expands healthcare and benefits to veterans. The Honoring Our Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxic Acts allows veterans to apply for healthcare and benefits related to any toxic exposure while on active duty. WS Bank Holdings reporter
Sitting in this room may have been exposed to toxins during your time of service, like organoids, chemicals, radiation, warfare agents, and occupational hazards.
Still watching for Montgomery. It's one thing we need to talk about from Montgomery up towards Eclectic, kind of this corridor right in here. This could produce flash flooding. That is not moving a lot at all. So we could deal with isolated flash flooding in northern and northeastern Montgomery County. So just be aware of that. Greenville, zip down I-65 here for Greenville. How about this? The risk of severe weather has ended in Greenville. Opelika. No, you're not done yet, Opelika. You got a little ways to go. This should end in Opelika sometime around midnight or 1. So another couple of hours, and then we'll wind this thing down in Opelika. Any changes for Geneva? No, you're doing all right. So Geneva is kind of an interesting set of circumstances. The worst of this first batch of storms is through now. It's just cleared Geneva. It's over near Dothan. Back to the west and southwest, you've got more intense storms, though. Look at this. Some of this has got to come through Geneva, too, later on tonight. So Geneva County, this may linger through midnight, 1 a.m. So this will be another 2 to 3 hours worth of this nonsense before we can finally put it to bed. Andalusia, you're not done yet, but you will be soon. 11:30, it'll be over in Covington. Crenshaw. Not done yet, but close to it. It'll be over in Crenshaw by 10:45. No rotation near Enterprise. That storm totally fell apart. I mean, totally. Can't even see it anymore. It's wild. Here you go. See all that? So here's Fort Rucker. Watch how fast this thing falls apart. That was it right there, south of Enterprise. See how quickly it falls apart? It's pretty wild. Henry County, storms are on the way. Some could be strong to severe. You won't be done in Henry County till probably about 2 in the morning. So this is going to take a while to end there. For Barber County, severe weather threat there is pretty low, but not zero. It'll linger through about 1 o'clock in the morning. So about another 2.5, 3 hours for Barber. And then we'll clear this thing on out of Barber County as well and get into Georgia. Pike County, threat now through about midnight. Once we get to midnight, the line will probably be through Pike County, but still need you to stay weather aware between now and then. So that's the story, Morning Glory. Here's the county times again. Again, these are approximate, as always, give or take a little time on either side of it. Why isn't it moving off of East Montgomery? Well, it's kind of complicated, but it's doing something called training. The storms are oriented in a line that goes from southwest to northeast, almost like a train track. Right? And then the individual cells and the storms themselves are moving along the train track. They're moving that same direction. So there's not a lot of the net motion here is basically zero. They just sit here for a while. Now, eventually, see this down here, this pocket of drier air, that'll come in and end the rain. But it's going to take some time. Good night, Rob. Thank you for watching. Enterprise, you're under a tornado watch. You are no longer under a tornado warning in Enterprise. That has been canceled. So you're good there. Christy says, choo, choo. I've seen a couple of questions. No, we will not do this all night. Main reason is because my phone battery is pretty weak. So then I'll have to take a hydration break. So, no, we can't do this all night. I wish we could. How much rain has the river region gotten? I don't know. I can check. I can check the observation in Montgomery. Put up radar here momentarily.
Twitch and Councilwoman Marche Johnson went to high school together. Johnson, a 9th grader. Twitch, a senior. And from the start,
Do this too.
Johnson said he was a true performer.
Okay.
And he wasn't just good at what he did. He was a good person. Heart.
So yellow and red. I mean, that's up in the 1 to 2 inch category out in East Montgomery, with some in excess of 3 inches or 2.5. I'll check the airport too, see what they've had, and then we'll get the official climate report tomorrow. But there's been some pockets of really heavy rain, and you can definitely see where these storms are training right here. That's that same cluster of storms causing all of that.
Saying in part, quote, we met in August 2000 on the campus of Southern Union State Community College. Rest well, bud, and keep dancing all over those streets of gold. And the school they attended, Southern Union reached out to, saying in part, quote, the Southern Union family was shocked and deeply saddened here at the death.
Sad story about Twitch, man. Who saw that coming? It's horrible.
Julia England, WSFA 12 News.
Stephen Boss was 40 years old and leaves behind a wife and 3 children.
News of Boss's death again brings up the important topic of mental health. Suicide rate is actually higher than the homicide rate in the U.S. In 2018 and 2019, more than 78% of all Alabama suicides were among men. Justice White, clinical director of Caristar Health, says there is a serious mental health issue that needs to be addressed.
Men have traditionally said, hey, just grab yourself by your bootstraps and pull them up. But I tell people at times, sometimes you don't have any bootstraps. So the bootstraps might be some support system.
If you are feeling vulnerable, maybe even or you know someone who has talked about it, try calling 988. That's 988. It's the national number for all mental health, substance abuse, and suicide crisis lines. It is an active night of watches and warnings when it comes to the weather, and these storms are still marching across our state.
WSFA First Alert Chief Meteorologist Chuck Johnson has live radar and an update on the storm.
Oh, wow.
Am I yawning? Yes, I'm yawning. That's why I need a hydration break and a caffeine break. There's radar again. A lot of folks asking about snow. I don't foresee that. I do think it's going to turn really cold. And in fact, we will have right now new computer model data streaming out. And boy, is it going to get cold. Let's see just how cold it's going to get, folks. Yeah, not quite out far enough. Shardy says, you tell us to charge our phones up. Charge yours up as well. It's going to be a long night. Yeah, I'm going to. I've got a charger. So the camera up here, this camera is actually a phone. Let me show you. Crazy, right? So what I'll do is just move that charger to this phone. And then everyone can go home happy, right? But then you got to worry about that phone, the camera phone up there dying. So it's always something, man. Ooh, man. Well, I think it's weather time, gang. So I need to do that. So I'm going to go do some weather. And I'll be back in a minute. I will leave you with the timing graphic. Still pretty good. Some of these times have passed. If time has passed, that means the severe weather threat's over for you. Please hold all applause until the end of tonight's program. Intense thunderstorms are moving through central and south Alabama at this very hour. We'll track them for you momentarily. First things first, what I want to do is walk you through the next few hours. By midnight, the storms are mainly along and east of US 231. And then look at this. By 1, 2 in the morning, they quickly accelerate into Georgia, and all this ends. So this is not going to be something that lasts a whole heck of a lot longer. So that's good news to be had there. By the way, if you're watching this broadcast live on Facebook or on YouTube, head on over to the TV. Yeah, we've got you covered on WSFA 12 News at 10, which is airing right now. Here's a live look outside via our Capitol camera. Not a bad look. It is raining in the capital city. In fact, it's raining really, really hard in Montgomery and surrounding areas. This batch of thunderstorms here doing what we call training. It's just moving over the same spot over and over and over. That can create a heavy rain and flooding threat. So from northeastern Elmore County, really from Lake Martin right back down to East Montgomery, if you live in a flood-prone spot, pay close attention there. This is a strong cell here in Crenshaw coming into Pike. A lot of lightning, thunder with that. No rotation there. No rotation there. No rotation here. Although this one down in southeast Alabama is producing some strong wind. The good news is this line, once it clears you, you're done. So Alex City, threat of severe weather is ended. Wetumpka, Titus, Marbury, Prattville, downtown Montgomery, West Montgomery, Painville, Lounsboro, Selma, Faunsdale, Uniontown, Marion, Demopolis, Linden, Camden, Monroeville, Evergreen, Greenville. The threat of severe weather is over for you. East Montgomery, still give us another 30 minutes, we'll get this thing out of here. Dadeville, Auburn, Union Springs, down to Crenshaw County, Pike County, Barber County, down into the Wiregrass, and yes, still in Covington County. We're not quite in the clear yet. We're close, but we're not quite done with this whole thing just yet. Here's the active tornado watch. You see it here. It runs from Elmore County, Montgomery County, Crenshaw County, Covington County, and points east. It does not include Tallapoosa or Chambers. It does include Lee, Macon, Elmore, and south from there, though. So the good news is, as the storms keep moving east, these counties will slowly drop off. And we are projecting by 1 to 2 in the morning, this all gets blown into Georgia. And fingers crossed we can just get through these next few hours without anything bad happening. We have, so far in Alabama, we had tornado damage with this in Texas. We had tornado damage with this in Louisiana and Mississippi. And you know which state's next, right? If you know your geography even a little, we're next. And so far today, we have had some tornado touchdowns in Alabama. We have not seen major, significant, widespread damage and loss of life in our state yet, thank goodness. So the front, when it comes through, the temperature drops like a rock. 59 already in Selma compared to 70 in Montgomery. It's 71 in Troy, 72 at Andalusia. So this little bubble of warm air down here is what's fueling these storms for the next few hours, but eventually it will fade away. It rains a bit, but by sunrise tomorrow, it's all gone. Thursday is a much colder day, breezy, highs in the 50s, and that's a long stretch of cool weather. Highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s. It will feel very much like Christmas as the holiday season approaches. We'll be back with more WSFA 12 News at 10 next. Hey y'all, I'm back. Woo! Do a little weather there. Now we got a little Facebook there. Man, we're just doing it all tonight, aren't we? Got to go move this dang elf. Christy, you are not lying. Maybe I'll be live next week talking about snow. I'm on vacation next week, so I will not be live talking about snow. Unless it looks like it's going to snow, and then I probably would have to come into work. So there you go. What about Fort Rucker? Worst of it is through you. You're not completely out of the woods yet. Here's the radar for Fort Rucker. Let me switch over to EOX. That'll give us a better look in. So you're sort of between storm systems right now. You've got this cluster of storms here. It's past you. It's moving away. Then you've got this back here that you've still got to go through. A lot of the worst of this will go north of you. But the issue becomes there's more storms down into the Florida Panhandle. Some of these will come up through the Wiregrass as well. So moral of the story, the initial wave of storms has passed you. There's more back to the west. You're not done yet. You're between them. For Fort Rucker and for frankly all of Dale County, this should be over sometime between midnight and 1. Has Elmore County dropped off the watch yet? No, I don't believe it has. It should. It will soon, though. There's still some storms in the eastern part of the county that we're watching. That's probably why they haven't bumped the county out yet. So see this right here? When this back edge clears out of the county, you'll be done. But from Wetumpka north and west, it's over. Elba's not in the clear yet. Elba's in the same boat as Ozark, just so you know. So everything I said about Ozark, it applies to Elba and Fort Rucker.
Well, the Federal Reserve
News is back on. I gotta be quiet.
interest rate for the second time this year, signaling more hikes to come.
Yeah, the Fed wants a half-point hike this time. Inflation is showing signs of easing, though it's lower, I should say, that half-point increase is lower than the previous three-quarter point hikes that the Fed has taken. Policymakers say they may raise the interest rate again by an additional 3 quarters, or they could leave it there through 2023.
Ukrainian authorities say they stopped a Russian attack on Kyiv and the surrounding region as their air defenses destroyed 13 explosive Navy drones. An official says the Ukrainian drone record damaged 5 buildings. No countries were concerned. The attempted strikes underline the continued vulnerabilities of Ukraine's capital, but also highlight Ukraine's claims of increasing efficiency in intercepting threats.
An influx of migrants crossing into the U.S. from Mexico just days before the pandemic-era border restriction known as Title 42 will be lifted. That restriction gave the government the authority to turn away migrants in an effort to stop the spread of COVID-19. However, the courts have said that law or that rule must be allowed to expire. Officials say now they expect even more migrants to cross. The Department of Homeland Security is deploying additional agents to deal with these influx.
springtime House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was honored with her official court today. Former Republican Speaker John Boehner and Congressman Ron Hanna, who is acting for Speaker Pelosi is the second Speaker of the House. She was called one tough cookie by Boehner. She is not seeking a leadership position in the new Congress. Her portrait will be on display in the Speaker's office. Well, sports is next, and the
I'll get some in a minute. Thank you, though. Yep.
Plus, the Auburn Tigers are making headlines. They've made 2 key football hires, and those hires were made official today. Rosie has all the details.
How long till Tallapoosa County is in the clear? Let's look. We're projecting the storms to be out of Tallapoosa by midnight, and that may be worst case scenario. There's the county list again. For Tallapoosa, I think a lot of the county will probably be done with this faster than that. For instance, Alex City, it's already over. Does the app have a feature to look at wind direction that you use to look for rotation just because it's interesting? Coy, I don't think so. I'll look. I'll dive into the app a little later on and look at that and see. I don't think so, though. Any more rotation? It will show you. It will automatically trigger a tornado icon when it detects rotation, but I don't think there's a place for you to go look at it manually. Is Tallahassee clear? No, but you will be. 11:15 at the latest, you'll be done. Any more rotation coming towards Coffee County? None that we see right now. It's pouring rain down there, but overall you're doing all right in Coffee County. I think we'll be able to give you an all clear probably around midnight, 1 at the latest. So Elmore, threat of severe weather is ending within the hour anyway. From Wetumpka west, it's already over. But if you live east of Wetumpka in Elmore County, you still got another probably 30, 45 minutes to wind this thing down. Is Montgomery clear? Well, it depends on what part of town you live in. I know that's kind of an oddball answer, but it's the truth. Let me show you what I mean here. Here's radar. Here's Montgomery. Downtown is clear. That's the back edge of the severe weather threat right there. So downtown's fine. North Montgomery, West Montgomery, Southwest Montgomery, the airport's fine. But East Montgomery from really about Perry Hill Road, east from there, out towards the Boulevard, Atlanta Highway, still some concern there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Sports is about to start. I'll stop talking for a minute. We'll keep looking at it, though.
The Auburn men's basketball team back at home tonight facing Georgia State. Star Jimmy Johnson didn't play tonight for all the pregame radio call saying it was a coach's decision, something internal, and he will be available for Auburn's next game in Tennessee. The Tigers really needed it in the first half. Auburn shooting 32% from the floor in the first half, getting the majority of the points from the charity strike. Wendell Green Jr. leading the team with just 9 points at the break, and at the break the Tigers trailed by 3. So second half, Tigers got back into a groove. At least part of that, Trey Donaldson, a freshman who wasn't even in the rotation on Saturday, nails a 3. Auburn goes up 10. Now Green will hit 1,000 career points tonight with this free throw. He finishes with 17 points, getting 20 points tonight. And with under 30 seconds to play, Alan Flanagan a breakaway one-handed jam. Auburn wins 72-64. Well, Auburn has officially named Philip Montgomery as its offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Montgomery spent 8 seasons as the head coach at Tulsa, and he's very well known for his work with big-time quarterbacks. Bryce Petty and Robert Griffin III are just
One more update on Dothan for Adrian. Hey, it is storming big time in Dothan right now. There's radar. See it there? Pouring rain. So far, so good as far as rotation goes. We see some strong wind signatures. We do not see any sign of rotation. So there's going to be some wind in this, but a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain. But at this point, the tornado threat is not very high with that storm. There are more storms behind it, though, and the threat really doesn't end for Dothan until probably about 1 to 1:30 in the morning. There you go. Are these storms weakening as they move into Alabama from Florida? A little, yeah. The farther north they go, the weaker they get. Do you not like setting your radar scope to 30 frames? I haven't messed with it. I mainly use radar scope on my phone. The iPad is just for this purpose. My sort of real account is there. Any particular areas I'm watching? The Wiregrass, and then the McKenzie up towards Montgomery. Everything's behaving right now, though. We're in good shape. We're not done yet, but a lot of us are in good shape. So, well, I will say this. West of Interstate 65, the threat of severe weather is over. It is done. So if you live west of Interstate 65, it is all over but the sleeping. Okay, so the 10 o'clock news is about to be over. And when it is, I'm going to wind this. I'm going to close off Facebook Live. I'm going to take a little hydration break, rest my voice for a minute. We've been talking nonstop for 2 hours now. And I have to save my voice just in case we were to have a tornado later. So we're not going anywhere. We will probably, we'll watch the situation. We'll post to Facebook frequently. But for now, we're going to wind down the Facebook Live. Thank you all for participating. I appreciate it. We'll post updates on the weather app. We'll put videos there. And we'll post updates to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And obviously, if we see anything at all that we're concerned about, we will break into programming on WSFA 12 News and update you there as well. So appreciate everything. Thank you for your time. Take care. And if the need arises,